Good morning, everybody. It's Stephen Williams, founder and president of the creditrepairshop.com. And in today's video, we're going to answer some questions that people sent me about court summons and garnishments, because these are like on the top of what I usually get questions about. If it's either customers who sign up, or just people that stop by our office, or people on YouTube, or people that just go to our website, thecreditrepairshop.com, and they have questions about, what do I do if I get a court summons in the mail? Should I respond? Should I not accept it? What are my rights? What's going to happen? And then when it comes to garnishments, people have went through, obviously, the court summons process all the way to getting a judgment, all the way to getting a garnishment, and they're like wondering, what can they do? What are their rights? So what I'm going to do here in this video is I'm going to give you some answers on what you should do for both of those, and then I'm going to give you some exercises that you need to do so you don't get depressed, don't get fear put inside of you to where you won't even take action on these solutions, so you can understand how you can overcome problems on both sides, from your actions and also what you do from your positive thinking. So first, with the court summons, if you don't know, but most people know, court summons is when a creditor, and it could be a debt collector that purchased the debt, and they will first send a letter to you in the mail requesting the payment for that debt, and then they'll send a go to the court, pay money, and have a summons sent to you to your last known address. From experience, usually they've done their research and they know who they should do this to and who they shouldn't attempt doing this to. But if you're fall into that category where they've done research and they believe that they have a good chance of collecting a debt from either your employment status or something, they're going to take you to court and they're going to do a summons. And when that summons comes to you, you need to answer it. Now, I've seen some YouTube videos where people are telling you, don't take the paper, don't sign for it or whatever. I'm telling you, the way that it is right now, a court summons, actually, the way that they deliver them now, it doesn't even have to be signed by you. They just have to give it to you. And even if you don't accept it, they could just drop it right there on your doorstep and say you've been served, because that's, the way that the laws have been changed. And, businesses have talked to lawmakers and they're like, this is our money that we loan them and we have the right to collect it. And so they changed the laws and they allowed them to just dump that court summons, send it in the mail, they just have to prove that they served you. That's all they have to do. And then you're going to have that court date. So the first thing that you need to do when you get that court summons is you need to read through it. And a lot of people get this wrong, where they think what's in the summons is just statements that is being written, like it says that Joe Blow lives at this address, and Joe Blow had this credit card for $45,000, and Joe Blow used to get the statements billed to this address, and Joe Blow received a statement the last time on this date. And they look like they're just paragraphs, and they're just like saying stuff. And what happens is a lot of people disregard them. You should not disregard that, even if it's true. You have a right to answer each of those. And if you do not recall getting your statements with these amounts on there, you need to write that. So there's going to be these number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or however many paragraphs they have. You need to answer each of them to the best of your knowledge. And if you do not believe that it is true, you have a right to say, I do not know, I want more information, this is not true according to to what I remember, this is not true. And then you need to answer all of those, and then there's going to be an address on that summons complaint on where you need to send your answers to. You need to send it to the lawyer who is suing for the plaintiff, and then you need to send it to the judge. This is your response. You need to send that response to them. It is required that you do that, and you have to do it within a certain period of time. Now, then the next step is they're either going to send documentation to you, or they're going to ask the judge for more time. But what usually happens, this is what usually happens, even on the cases that are going to get dismissed, is that they want to see if you're going to show up to court. And then when you show up to court, they're going to either say, which happens a lot of times with my clients, is that when they walk up and they've sent those answers, that they say dismiss because they cannot prove all of the information. They don't know what you have in mind. They don't know especially if it's a debt collector collecting an old debt, they don't know what potentially could be a problem, and they don't want to step their foot into that mess. So what they'll usually do is when your name is called, you've built up everything and you're ready to state your case, and they say that it's dismissed. That's what usually happens when this is done the right way to a summons that comes. But even if they come to court and they bring everything, and you ask the judge, I need time to review all of that information that I requested from them. And then if it all checks out, the worst case scenarios that you can ask to speak with the plaintiff attorney and work out some type of settlement. Right then and there is the time to put that together. And even if you can't do it, you just tell the judge that you want more time. Can they recess the court for 30 days or 60 days or whatever for you to work out something with them. Because if you don't do that and they win the judgment, then the next step that's going to happen is that they're going to go to garnish your wages. And there's a potential that the judge will not give you time if they bring everything. But 9 times out of 10, they will not bring everything because they're not used to people doing this the way that I'm describing it to you. They're just used to people walking in the court and just totally just denying the debt, but they don't actually, make the debt collector prove anything. You can't just deny the debt and say it's not mine without allowing them the chance to prove that the debt is yours. That's what the court is actually looking for. So next phase is if they end up getting if you can't do the settlement, they end up getting the garnishment. These are the ways that you can stop the actual garnishment. The first thing that you need to do is that you need to look up the laws in your state pertaining to garnishment. Every state has their own rules on garnishment. Some states don't even allow garnishments. So then you look to see if you qualify. Just because you make money and you have a good job does not necessarily mean that you qualify to be garnished, because you could have a certain amount of dependents. Some of your income could be from disability, whatever the mix could be, that there is potentially ways that you will not have to pay that garnishment. But if you do qualify to be garnished, the next step that you should do is there's a garnishment worksheet that they would provide to you. Usually the Human Resources Department would provide it because it comes in the packet that the debt collector sends to your employer, and you have to fill that out, and it's very complicated. They have these formulas, and it's going to figure how much of your disposable income that they can take for the garnishment to pay the garnishment back. There's a percentage amount that they can do, and just because that they can take that amount does not necessarily mean that you have to pay that amount. Everything is always open to negotiations when you're talking to them. Remember, all the way from getting that letter in the mail the first time, all the way to the garnishment process, you're nothing but a number. Trust me. And people sometimes don't believe when I say that, but when you start working with them and you see that even when you win, you'll be surprised of how easy they just let that go and they go on to the next person. It's because they have hundreds, maybe even thousands of files that they're dealing with, and they're just trying to knock them out and get resolutions and move forward. So even if you have a garnishment, you can talk with the plaintiff attorney and say that this is going to put me into a hardship. Uh, can we negotiate an amount that I could pay right now, and then in the future we can revisit it and we can potentially increase it, because everything needs to be solution oriented, solution focused. I'm going to take a quick drink here. And that's what's going to take us into our next step, is I'm going to teach you how to handle this stuff on a mental level. Everybody talks about the technical side, doing paperwork, filling this out, filling that out, sending that to the judge, sending that to the plaintiff attorney or to the original creditor, requesting documents. All of that is technical, but let's not skip the feeling that you have. The feelings that you have when somebody is threatening your income, threatening the money that you have to go to work and earn to survive, to take care of your family, to pay your expenses, all of that stuff. Now someone is going to come in and take that, and we know that you would have paid that if you were able to afford it. So now there is there's going to be a lot of negative feelings that are going to come about. Even from the beginning, when you first get those letters and you start going through the court process, there's going to be negative feelings that you're going to have. And those negative feelings, if you do not take care of those, it's going to make you not do the technical work that it takes to get the job done, to get you in the most favorable position. So what you must do is you must focus on solutions. Don't worry about if the solution that you're trying is going to work. You just stay focused on solutions and you keep trying different things. Because if you don't, you're going to do something, and then if it doesn't work, you're going to quit. I've seen miracles happen even from myself, from what happened with myself when I went through this years ago, and from what my clients go through, and from what I've had people that ask me questions here on YouTube, and I just said, try this, and this could potentially work. And they had a positive mind. They focused on the potential rather than the negative. And that's what you have to do. You have to release all of the negative that's inside, even though it's going to pull at you, because you're going to think these people know what they're doing. They're with the courts. They got all this money. They're coming just after you, but they're not. You're just a number, and this is just something that is happening to you right now, but it is not you. You are not the person who owes the money. That is not you. You just owe this money to this person, but that is not who you are as a person. This is all external. So you need to have a positive mindset that no matter what comes at you, you're going to just keep trying different things to get you to the resolution that you want. Positive mind, positive thinking, positive focus. You let those feelings flow through you, and don't think negative. Don't think, well, they're going to do this to me, this is going to happen to me next, that's going to happen to me next, I'm not going to have any money. Get those thoughts out of your mind, because that will stop you from doing the technical side, which is all of the answers and getting the documents to where you need them to go. And that'll stop you from doing that if you think negative. And then those negative feelings are going to pour over into your family. They're going to see you thinking negative. It's going to pour over into your work. It's going to pour over into a whole bunch of things. You're going to start going downhill. I'm trying to keep you going up that hill so you can know that you're working on the technical side and you're working on the mental side. That's what it's all about. So if you have any questions, Please put your comments down below here. I really appreciate your time. This is Stephen Williams, founder and president of the creditrepairshop.com. You can go to my website if you need your credit reports and scores. You can go to www.your3, the number 3 scores.com. The links are below this video. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I just broke over 4,000 subscribers, so I really thank everyone for subscribing to the channel, and I will continue making these types of videos to help you out, continue answering questions, and let's just make it a great day and everybody move forward and stay positive. Thank you, and until next time.